It was close to midnight. The desert highway was silent, not a single car in sight. Ethan's old sedan coughed twice, and died. The wind pushed dust across the road. Far ahead, a flickering red sign appeared through the darkness. Vacancy Motel. He had no choice. He grabbed his bag and walked toward the light, unaware that someone, or something, was already waiting for him. Inside, the lobby smelled of old wood and rain. An elderly clerk appeared behind the counter, his smile stiff and slow. "Room 313, the man said. "Last one open tonight." Ethan noticed, all the other keys were gone. No other cars outside. No voices. But he was too tired to question it. He took the key and climbed the narrow staircase. The light flickered once. Dust danced in the beam from a single lamp. A "Do Not Disturb" tag lay on the bedside table, covered in years of dust. Ethan placed it on the door handle. The air felt thick, like someone had just left. He turned on the TV, static hissed back at him. Then, faintly, through the noise, he thought he heard breathing. Unable to sleep, Ethan walked into the small bathroom. The mirror was fogged from a leaking pipe. He wiped it clean, and froze. Words began to appear slowly, written from inside the glass, "Check out before 3. His reflection blinked, but he didn't. And then, it smiled. Panicked, Ethan ran into the hallway. He turned left, room 312. He turned again, room 313. Every door looked the same. Every hallway led back to the same place. He opened one door. And saw himself, asleep on the bed. The sleeping version opened its eyes. The clerk's voice echoed through the empty motel, "You never checked out, Ethan." The walls pulsed red. The floorboards cracked. Outside, the vacancy sign glowed blood-bright. Room 313 faded into black. And Ethan was gone. Morning sunlight hit the same old sign. A new traveler stopped, exhausted. The same clerk smiled. "Welcome," he said. "Room 313 is ready." The neon sign flickered again. Vacancy.
Cedar Lane was a short street in a quiet Maine town. The kind of place where people nodded politely but didn't talk about much. The houses were old, leaning a little too far to the left. Paint peeling in long curling strips, mailboxes hanging on by a thread. When my family moved there in the summer of 2004, my parents told me it was a nice, safe neighborhood. That's how grown-ups warn you without warning you. The first thing I noticed wasn't the houses. It was the smell. Not bad, just off, damp earth, rotting leaves, that wet wood scent that sticks to your shoes. It came strongest from the Bennett house at the end of the street. Nobody lived there, not really. The windows were dark, the lawn unkempt. The porch sagging like it was ready to collapse under its own history. Sometimes, though, if the wind was just right, I swore I heard whispers. I told myself it was kids, maybe some teenagers from across town, throwing rocks, messing with the old house. But the whispers weren't like kids. They were soft, sad, almost pleading, and they always seemed to be saying my name. First sighting. It happened one night when the street was dead quiet, cicadas buzzing in the trees, the air sticky with heat. I was on the front steps when I saw it, a figure, behind the Bennett house's curtains. Tall, thin, impossibly still. Its face was white, almost glowing, and it didn't walk. It floated, slid along the floor in a way that made my stomach tighten. I froze, heart pounding. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but my legs wouldn't move. And then the figure was gone, leaving only that smell, damp, metallic, and the faintest whisper of my name. The strange days. Over the next few weeks, Cedar Lane began to feel wrong. Shadows where shadows shouldn't be. Doors I was sure I'd locked, suddenly ajar. Max, my dog, refused to go near the Bennett yard. Low growls vibrating from deep in his chest. And then the dreams started. I'd wake at 2 or 3 a.m., the smell thick in my room, cold and rotten. The pale figure would be there at the foot of my bed. Its eyes weren't eyes, just black holes. And it whispered, "Come. Come to Cedar Lane." I started keeping a notebook. jotting down times, noises, shapes. Each morning I'd try to convince myself it was just imagination. Kids have imaginations, right? The first real encounter. It finally stepped out of the dream. I was in the backyard, moonlight washing over the grass. Max barked and backed up. At the edge of the yard it stood. This time it wasn't pale. Its skin was gray, wrinkled and sagging like paper left in rain too long. Its mouth opened wider than a human mouth should, and from it came a single guttural phrase. "They're waiting for you." I ran inside, locking every door. Tried to call my parents, no dial tone. The room filled with the smell again, stronger. The whispers didn't stop. "Come, come, come." I didn't sleep for days. My parents assumed it was a bad dream. I knew better. The Bennett house. I grabbed a flashlight and a baseball bat. If it was a person, I could scare it off. If it wasn't, well, I wasn't sticking around to find out. The yard was silent, the trees holding their breath. The front door was gone, hinges, lock, everything. Just a black hole. I stepped inside. The air was wet, earthy, and cloying, like a cellar that hadn't been opened in decades. Scratch marks and clawed names ran along the walls. My name was carved there. "Come." The whisper came from behind me. I spun, but nothing was there. The temperature dropped. My breath fogged. Shadows twisted across the floor, stretching, crawling. Every step felt like walking through thick water. The whispers multiplied, dozens, maybe hundreds of voices, laughing, crying, hissing, waiting. Confrontation and escape. Then I saw it, taller now, moving in impossible, jerky motions, the gray sagging face, empty eyes, mouth opening wider and wider. The whispers became a deafening roar in my head. "Come, join us." I ran. Through a broken window. Glass shredded my clothes and skin. Branches whipped my face. Behind me, the whispers followed, growing louder, more insistent. When I finally reached the street, Cedar Lane was quiet again. Just cicadas, just night. The Bennett house looked empty, like always. I never went back. Couldn't even if I wanted to. But sometimes, at night, I hear my name on the wind. And I know they're still waiting.